up. Hey everybody, it's me, Will.
And me, Kristen.
We're finally online.
Yes.
If you're a live viewer, apologize for the tardiness.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Tech issues, dear David.
Mm-hmm. Thanks a lot, Dave.
Here's a letter. Dear David, leave us alone.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let us record.
Yeah, unexpected. I had to do a Windows update, and it was a major one, apparently.
Yeah.
Who the hell knows?
Yeah.
Who the hell knows?
Lasted a while. It really went the distance.
It sure did.
Mm-hmm.
But we're here now.
We are.
So hopefully people are going to be able to join in and everything.
Yeah.
And we'll get started in just a couple of seconds. Maybe we'll just do a few heads-ups.
Yep.
Really quick.
Hey guys, we're streaming Guides to the Unknown live right now on youtube.com/talkbomb. So if you want to, come hang out and see the show a little bit earlier. Or hear the show early, whatever.
Yeah, we're going to take you to hell.
Blah. Okay.
Bingo.
Yeah.
That, let's go here. youtube.com/talkbomb. It's where it all happens.
That's right.
TALKBOMB. Select. Copy. Bingo. Bango.
Bongo.
Dodongo. Hey everybody, it's me, Will.
And me, Kristen.
Right now we are live on youtube.com/talkbomb. Come join us. We're going to be doing another live episode of Guide to the Unknown.
That's right.
Yeah. We'll see you there. Bye.
Okay. Excellent.
That covers Facebook.
Cool.
Hey everybody, it's me, Will. And me, Kristen. Right
Share. Don't play the movie for me. I just made the movie.
You know it already.
We're movie makers.
That's right.
Okay, I'm just going to share this to the group, and then why don't we just roll?
Sounds good.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Too much time has already been wasted, Kristen.
Yes.
Time is money.
Too
Time
much
is
time has
valuable.
elapsed.
Exactly. Share to a group. This is not going to ask me which group. How does this happen? Join us. I wonder what will happen now. Oh, maybe this is... What a strange feature.
Where did you see this?
Why?
Go back.
Share.
Share group.
And it brought me to this.
That's weird.
That seems strange to me. I'm just going to do share.
Then on.
Write a post.
Yeah.
Share in a group. Guide to the Unknown. Bam.
Boom.
Bam, we are finally live. Bingo.
Bongo.
There's only one person who's watching.
Yeah. I mean, that could be. Oh, is that you?
Privacy unlisted? Come on,
Oh.
punks. Okay, new idea.
Okay.
All we did was say youtube.com/talk, start the stream.
Cool.
Hey everybody, it's me, Will,
And me, Kristen.
and we are finally live.
We made it.
Took a little bit of time,
Yeah.
but we're here. Better
Yep.
late than never,
That's right.
as somebody once said.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who.
We'll be right on time for, the podcast actually releasing.
We're on time as per us.
Yeah.
You're on our time.
Kristen
table.
Will's standard time.
Rock on,
That's right.
everybody. Hopefully you're all getting
actually-
notifications right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And yeah, we'll see. Hey, Michelle.
Michelle.
Bingo. It's starting to work.
Yay.
It's starting to work.
It's happening.
You see, we're calling them to us, Kristen.
Yes,
We're calling
yes.
them to us.
They're coming in.
What's going on, Michelle?
Yeah. how's
Good
it going?
evening.
Good evening.
And let me just reply to this real quick.
Okay.
Try clicking the link. Technology
Hi,
is
Christy. Hi, Taylor.
against us. Oh, good. Taylor, hey.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Hey, thank you all so much for hanging out.
Yeah. Thank you. Just pulling my notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the moment, he's sated.
Yeah, I don't know. As long as
Yeah.
he's able to get his chunk of flesh.
Yes.
His pound of flesh.
Yeah. Hopefully, nothing else will happen during the show now.
Exactly. We
Yeah.
seem to have to pay David with some sort of
Yeah, the
cyber
toll.
currency.
Yeah. Maybe we should just be putting like a quarter on. You know how people will leave like quarters and bobby pins at like grave sites. Maybe we should just be leaving that in front of the monitor.
Maybe.
For
And,
David.
There was a restaurant in New Orleans where they always pour a glass of wine and put a basket of breadsticks on the table for the ghost
Really?
so that they won't have trouble that evening.
That's cool.
First thing I did, knocked over the entire table, baby.
Oh yeah. That's cool.
It is cool.
I didn't know that.
Yep. Good waste of bread.
I'll tell you, it's a great way to waste some bread.
How do we know it's fresh every night? Maybe they're giving that ghost stale bread.
That would be disrespectful.
Night after night after night.
The ghost would know.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I'm glad you found us, Megan.
Yeah.
Very good.
Glad you found us. Yeah, long story short, techno issues again.
Yes.
Nothing entertaining,
But
unfortunately.
if I remember correctly, this was Megan's. She said it was going to be her first time watching because she caught up with the show or something. I
that's
feel like
right.
I saw that comment out there somewhere. So I'm
Very
glad you
cool.
found it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, exercise. Yeah, we talked about like saging the monitor. And
I
Will was
know.
like, yeah, I love burning stuff next to my computer.
percentage chance that we are haunted by some sort of cybergeist?
Apparently.
I'm asking. I'm
Oh.
still having
Yeah.
like numerous technological issues across all spectrum of electronics.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's tough stuff.
Just saying.
Yeah, Michelle, we'll like formally announce it like in early September, but we're doing 2 live shows in October. We're doing one that's at a library, and we're going to be doing another one that's at a local like entertainment space in our town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be very fun.
Yeah.
We're going to try to do something special for one of them too.
Mhm.
Something a little bit different.
Yeah.
But yeah, if anybody's in the tri-state
Yep.
area, New Jersey specifically, especially,
Yeah.
it'd be easy.
Mhm.
Definitely stay tuned. It'd be awesome to get to, I don't know, meet people in person.
Yeah, totally.
Get in some FaceTime, something like that.
Yeah, October 10th is the library thing, and then October 27th is the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yay. The library thing is just going to be like this, but at a library.
Yeah.
The other show is going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about that. We've really got to get planning.
Yeah.
We're going to need help.
Megan, awesome.
Okay. Okie
Cool.
dokie.
All right. Do you
Well,
want to
I'm
go
good.
first, or do you want me to?
I mean, your topic was what started all of this.
Okay.
Why don't you go for it? And mine is kind of loosey-goosey.
Okay.
Mine's a little weird.
Okay.
Shrimp.
What?
I wanted to read that listener who sent us an experience.
Oh, I figured we'd save that for like,
Save it for the future?
yeah, like
Okay.
a whole like listener story episode anyway.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's a good idea you
Okay,
had
okay.
like a year or two ago.
Okay, that tracks. Okay.
I'm panicky because now we're finally online. Sitting here watching Brian Wolf videos for the last hour. All right.
Okay. We will not be live streaming the live show, Taylor. It's gonna be a live experience.
Yeah, I don't think so. I wonder if we can record it and stuff. That'd be cool. I can just bring all my gear. What the hell?
Yeah. All right. Well,
We'll see.
we'll see. We weren't planning on it, but
Maybe. Probably not a live stream because we'd be dependent on other people's Wi-Fi.
yes, that's my main.
But
I
possibly
think it's not
record it.
impossible to record it, but yeah, a live stream seems unlikely. I was surprised to hear you say yes,
see.
but just recording maybe.
Maybe we could even just put a phone on a thing. Mm-hmm. My phone has unlimited data.
Uh-huh.
The audio might not be great for the live stream, but we could use the video later.
Yeah. All right, we'll see.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah. But we'll have more like, legit info about that, more concrete stuff
Exactly.
in early September.
Also, because I might forget this later,
Mm-hmm.
on Friday, this Friday, in the evening,
Yes.
Kristen and I are going to live stream the new Blair Witch game.
Mm-hmm.
It is waiting for me.
Yeah.
It has been pre-ordered. It came with exclusive artwork that I won't look at. But
What do you mean?
There's like pre-order bonuses.
Oh, like
that-
you already got the bonuses for
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
But that's this Friday.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I think we're good.
Cool. Let's do it.
Okay.
Hello. Welcome to Guide to the Unknown. I'm Kristen.
I'm William.
And we're going to be taking you through the gates of hell tonight
Ah!
with 2 stories of places where you can pass over and meet El Diablo.
It is funny, before we get into the stories, because we each have our own,
Yeah.
what is to be gained?
Yeah, I don't know. Why would you want this?
I don't know how yours is presented. Mine is very much presented as like, if you follow these steps,
Yeah.
you can get to hell.
Mine is actually very Gates of Hell light. That is but
Okay.
a tiny piece of the story, it turns out.
Okay.
Almost nothing.
Interesting.
Yes. So there's not a whole lot of detail on what happens when you accomplish whatever you've set out to accomplish here.
Nor in mine.
Yeah.
I think a big part of the story, at least for my segment of it, is like, well, no one knows what happens beyond a certain point.
Uh-huh.
Because otherwise you'd be in hell.
Right, exactly.
But I keep thinking, like, what the hubris of man
yeah.
to be like, well, yeah, I'll just be welcomed into the gates of hell.
Right.
What do you think, you're going to get a conference with the devil?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the implication, is that if you've gone this way and or gone all this way and like done the things that need to be done to pass through the gates, then you've earned it.
What?
I assume.
I guess, but what you've earned is going to the one place that no one
Right.
wants to go.
Yeah, but if you're, a devilish sort,
I guess.
maybe that's the one place you do want to
Is
go.
Old Scratch impressed?
Yes, I think so. I think he's like, so you found me. I can
And here
only
I am.
imagine. Yeah.
Ask your questions, 3. Realm Traveler. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
I found a secret to get to hell.
Yeah. and I'm going to use it.
So don't do it.
Yeah.
There should be a warning. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be like a service. Like, you found the gates to hell, so now you can like keep other people from happening upon them.
Don't go down that path.
Well, that definitely is like a question I have about mine. So I'm gonna talk. We're both telling tales of gateways to hell, and mine is in something called Spider Gate Cemetery in Massachusetts.
Great name.
Great name. But the hell thing, like I said, is just a very gentle part of it that I'll touch on at the beginning, since that's ostensibly the topic of the show. So it has its name because it has these wrought iron gates at the front that they look like spiders, kind of. It's just like a center ball and then little spindles that are wiggly coming off of it, basically. Okay. And so people say that it's the 8th gate of hell, and there are a couple of questions that spring from that. What are the other 7?
I have an answer for you.
Oh, perfect.
Kristen, my topic later in the episode is
Yeah.
the 7 gates of hell.
Perfect. Well, guess what? Spidergate Cemetery is the 8th.
That's crazy. So I'll have a
Yeah.
prequel to your
Yes,
story right now.
yes.
Unplanned.
Perfection.
That's-
Unprecedented.
That is bonkers.
Yeah, that actually is really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess Will tell us about the other 7. And so there are 2 stories about passing through and getting to hell. Either you just pass through these gates and you've accomplished passing through the 8th gate to hell, which would kind of suggest that, like, if all it is just passing through these gates, like, everyone's at risk here.
Oh, sure.
Like, we're all passing through hell if you just happen to pass through these gates. Or there's a story that I didn't see elaborated on, that there are 8 gates within the cemetery. There are other gates. And if you have hit all of those gates, then I guess in a poof, the devil will be like, you found me, or whatever.
There really is. So, like, I'm presently playing a lot of the Legend of Zelda games.
Uh-huh.
I've been playing through, I played through like 6 of them in the last, like, month and a half.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of puzzles in that game that are just like, oh, if you stand here, then stand there, then stand here, then stand there, a doorway appears.
Uh-huh.
And this is very much the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
the devil's just waiting. He's
Yeah,
like,
you hit these marks,
exactly.
and
He's
then
like,
he'll be ready for you.
oh, you screwed up. You have to start over.
Right.
If you want to have a conference with me.
Yeah, I'll be waiting, and like filing long, daggery nails.
Exactly. Yeah. Harvey
Yeah.
Keitel and Little
Yeah.
Nicky
Oh my God.
sitting back and waiting. Start again.
Remember, I think it was on this show. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You were like, what was that movie with Harvey Keitel where he played the devil and he had like a son who was disappointed in it? And I was like, oh yeah, I think that rings a bell. Yeah, I don't know. It was Little Nicky.
I don't remember what episode it was, but I remember being very proud of myself because I really took you down the primrose path
Yes,
of like, what
for
good
like a
casting
while.
for the devil, Harvey Keitel. I mean,
Yes.
I don't remember what it was, but I can
And
like
not
picture
wrong.
it. It's really good. Yeah. And then his son is like, yeah, he really screwed up. It's Adam Sandler. My brother Cassius hit me in the face with a shovel.
Oh my God.
Really impressed with my joke work there.
It was a very, very
Joke
good joke.
craft.
Yes, beautiful joke craft. Well, there's something in the Spidergate Cemetery that is somewhat like you saying, like, hit this, hit that, whatever. It just reminds me of the imagery, even though there doesn't seem to be a process like that. When you walk a little while into the cemetery, they say that there's a big patch of dead grass that has these blocks of cement marking all the corners, and they say that this is where a satanic house of worship once stood called the altar. Ah! Nothing will grow there
Oh.
now that it's died.
I love that.
So I wonder if there could be any kind of story where it's like, if you hit these if there's blocks on the sides, like in a certain order or something like that, like maybe El Diablo springs from the middle.
4
Just
blocks?
Yeah, it's like, it said that there are cement blocks on each corner of the square patch of grass that's dead.
There are only so many different ways you can hit them.
Well,
You can just scientifically work through all the options.
You absolutely could.
Poof! All right, you found me.
Well, you've already made it through the gates at that point, so that's also been an obstacle to you
Oh,
for
I see what
some
you're saying.
reason.
Okay.
And now you go in and maybe hit those blocks like you have to do in Zelda or whatever. Look, Will, I don't know how the devil works. I've got no time for him. I'm a god girl.
I'm mysterious.
Yeah. He works in
I'm
mysterious
a
ways.
regular bad boy.
That's right. No big. So there is also a non-Hellgate story behind the gates of Spidergate Cemetery. So there is a legend that there was a kid who hung himself from a tree that you can still see in the cemetery. They said if you walk in, it's right to the left in 1943. And they said that the kid was an artist and he was Greek, and that his family donated the gates to the cemetery where he was buried in hopes that the story of Arachne from Greek mythology, so related to spiders, that the gates symbolize would help bring him back to them. And the story is that Arachne was one hell of a weaver and that her skills rivaled even Athena's. I didn't know that weaving stuff was such a big part of Athena's story, who's she's like a Greek, goddess heavy in those stories. And so Arachne challenged Athena to a weaving contest. Arachne beat Athena.
Oh.
Athena was a big baby and a sore loser about it, so she ruined her tapestry and damned her to a life of guilt over having beaten the goddess Athena.
A life of guilt is is like so heavy.
Absolutely.
That's
and
creative in a
specific.
really miserable way.
Yes, absolutely.
Not a life of suffering.
A life of guilt.
Not damnation, a life of guilt.
Right. So I guess Arachne thought the same thing. She didn't like the prospect of that, so she hung and killed herself.
Oh.
And then Athena felt guilty, ended up coming back around, and decided to bring Arachne back to life as a spider so she could weave forever.
Oh, boy.
Which doesn't seem like a big reward, or being like, I feel sorry, I'll fix this, and then you turn them into a teeny animal?
Right.
Very
It feels like a monkey's paw thing.
Yeah.
You'll get to weave as much as you want.
Right, exactly. So
As a
Athena,
spider.
Athena is still being backhanded and petty as far as I'm concerned. I don't
Right.
find this a victorious story.
Well, I played God of
But-
War. I know what's up.
Yeah, you know the deal. So apparently this kid's family did find that story hopeful, I guess, in the idea of him coming back and maybe weaving related to him being an artistic kid.
Yeah.
And so the story is that they put those gates there in the hopes that it would kind of like stir something up. I think it's doesn't really fully apply one-to-one to the situation.
No, but
Because then-
conceptually it's kind of nice. There's an element of
Yeah.
living on, even if it's just through the stories that are told,
Right.
you know?
I should say, the way I've structured this is kind of the reasons that they say that this cemetery is
Sure.
haunted, and then the reasons it seems like it's definitely not. I think everything I'm about to tell you is bunk. There
Right.
seems to be no truth to that story whatsoever.
Okay.
And so even so, like, yeah, there is a coming back, but it's also like a very conditional coming back that I don't think even, if we live in the reality that this is a story where the parents really did this or whatever,
Sure.
it's still, it's a nice thought there, but it's not quite there. Like, we want him to rise again, but related to a story where somebody brings him back in kind of like a weird, petty way. Like,
Right.
it's not quite right.
Well, I guess, but you could also say that, like, the way that Greek myths work is it's all about explaining the world around you. And so that really is an origin story for spiders,
Yeah.
which are timeless.
Right.
Spiders are as evolved as you and me right now. And so there's something that is actually kind of poetically interesting in that maybe she didn't
well-
literally live on as that one little spider, but spider kind has flourished.
Huh, maybe you're right.
We all live on.
Maybe that is
Even
nice.
if it's not literally Will Rogers,
Yeah.
the family lineage kind of thing would carry on.
I suppose so. But still, it seems like she was made to be that exact spider.
Well, yeah.
But
I
I
mean,
gue-
but
I
that's where
guess-
it's like metaphorical.
Yeah, but so you're saying like Arachne is like all spiders?
Yeah, she's the mother of all spiders, I guess. I mean, I haven't
guess.
studied Greek mythology. I
Yeah.
read a few Greek mythology books as a kid, and I liked them.
I know, I love
I dropped out of a
mythology
Greek
books.
class, and they told me that I had the perfect accent, and she was very sorry to see me go.
What?
That's true. I was waiting for a different class to open up, so I had to sign up for a class when I was going to learn Greek.
Yeah.
And I went for one day, and we had to do the accents. And the teacher goes, "Wow!" Like we had to do the Greek alphabet. She taught it to us in the first day. And she
Yeah.
goes, "That was your Greek accent is more spot on for. Have you spoken Greek? Do you know any Greek?" And I was like, "No, don't know any Greek. She was like, that was better than any like first day student I've ever. And I left the class because the real thing I wanted opened up.
Crazy.
Who knows what I might have been?
I know, absolutely. Well,
I guess I'm just that good a mimic.
yeah, I suppose so. All
Watch
right.
out, Dana Carvey.
Yeah.
But like, I like Greek mythology, and I think that a lot of that is about explaining the natural world around you.
Yeah,
but if
totally.
you consider it literal and one-to-one, it obviously doesn't hold up under scrutiny.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it obviously it doesn't hold up under scrutiny 1-to-1. But as far as like the way that it symbolically represents this kid in this fake story, I just think it's a loose urban legend to weave.
I guess.
Shall we say? It doesn't
Yeah.
really work for me.
Okay.
Like, why would that happen?
I can see that too.
That's what I mean. It's just like, what?
Yeah.
So that's why they say those gates are, the spider gates. There is also, okay, I really like this because there's like a kind of activity that I imagine people kind of daring each other to do. There's a grave if you walk into the cemetery. It's the grave of Earl Marmaduke. And all around it, so, you can picture a grave and there's grass around a grave. This one is just like kind of cleared in a circular pattern because the story and the legend is that if you walk around the gravestone 10 times, so the grass has been worn away, 10 times at night, imploring, Marmaduke, speak to me. And then you kneel down and put your ear to the grave, he will speak. So tons of people have said that they've heard moaning when they put their ear to the gravestone, and remember that.
Is that speaking? Moaning?
No, but I guess it's him communicating.
Oh, my baby's first word was, yeah.
Meh. He's so smart.
You know?
Also, I feel like there's a Marmaduke joke to be made there about the dog.
I was
Maybe
really
it's the
trying
dog
to find
barking.
one. I know.
Yeah.
I couldn't quite come up with anything.
It's tough.
It's easier to see Marmaduke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just looking the Sunday funnies. Why are you pacing around in the cemetery?
Maybe it's actually worn clean, not from the people marching around, but Marmaduke galloping around the grave of his namesake.
Or, dogs spin in circles before they lie down.
That's true. Final resting place. So there's also the legend of a secret cave on the cemetery grounds where they say the body of a girl was once found, but there's actually no cave on the grounds at all, and there's no record of a girl like going missing from that area whatsoever. So that just seems totally made up, except that it might be an adaptation of something that did really happen and a spookifying it. Because a few miles away, there is a small cave that was used as a root cellar where there was a young boy who was killed in the early 1980s. So I guess that kind of like merged with the legends of the nearby cemetery. And also, I could be wrong, but I feel like the 80s is like a ripe time for making up urban legends, and kind of maybe it's because I was a child in the 80s,
maybe.
so I learned about this stuff then, but it seems to me I can picture kids like in 80s clothes being like, yeah, and there's a cave where there was a girl who was found on these grounds or whatever.
Yeah, I wonder what that is, because I agree with you. But it might just be that we associate that approximate time with us being kids.
Yeah,
Although
'cause that's like when we learned that.
I was technically alive in the 80s, but it's not like I have real memories of it.
Yeah.
But like it was also one of the most recent times in history where things could only travel by rumor and there was no internet.
Yes. That's a very good point. You're
You
right.
know?
It was like bumping right up against the time where the internet came
After
about.
that, everything was different.
Yeah.
The way that rumors grew was completely changed.
Yeah, that's totally true. And then a short one is that there's a legend that there's a nearby river that's actually the river Styx that takes you to hell. So I learned about this from an article on trytoscare.me, which we talked about on the show before. It's one of those sites where like people talk about kind of local haunting places and then they can leave them reviews like hauntedplaces.org that you've looked at. And so I pulled a few of people's reviews of this area to share with you guys because I love them. I've taken out like a couple of sentences from some of them where it was just repetitive or whatever for zippiness for the show.
Sure.
But you can go visit them on trytoscare.me. So this is from GhostMa04. The first time I ever went, I felt a pressure on my chest as if someone was giving me a bear hug inside or sitting on my chest, and my friend felt the same thing. The feeling disappeared as soon as we got a ways away from the cemetery. It just stopped as fast as it started. I did get a few great pictures out of thousands taken, and they are so amazing. I think this is a fascinating place to go to, and I love it and respect it 100% as it is used to this day. As it is a used to this day resting place for souls. May they all rest in peace, and I thank them for the pictures. Smiley face.
Oh, that's nice.
I was told to never drink from the lake there, or the negative would follow me, and I would need help from a witch or warlock to get it away from me. If the pond part is true or not, IDK, but I know from experience and for a fact that the land, not just the cemetery, is really haunted, smiley face.
Boy,
Really enjoyed that.
I know. Not that I can get answers, but I got a few follow-up questions.
Yeah, hit me.
I don't need to be warned not to drink from a lake. Why do you?
That's a very good point.
I don't know.
That's a
That
very
would
good
ever occur
point.
to me to slurp, take a sip from a lake, a pond, or a puddle.
I mean, aren't there outdoorsmen who carry around like a lake filtration system or whatever for just this reason?
Yeah,
I
but-
feel like that's if you're on like a major hike.
Yeah, that's if you're on like a major hike.
Yeah.
Like I'm not just like visiting a place and then like, all right, well we may
Let
as well
me-
start heading home.
Or sampling the
Get in
goods.
the truck.
Partaking of the local libations.
Yeah, exactly. No.
I agree. But I
And
like that a witch or a warlock, you have to find them and they'll undo it for you.
I know, and it implies that there are like witch and warlock
Yeah.
services. Like, hi, I'm Bob Warlock.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll need to get help from a witch or a warlock.
Yeah, Willie Warlock here.
Yeah.
What can I do for you? Oh, you took a sip from that pond?
All right, just another day at the office.
Kindred soul.
Yeah.
I got your back. I don't go anywhere without my sipping spoon.
Yeah.
What, are you dipping your face in the lake, or are you like cupping your hands?
I think
What if you see something in your hands?
you just don't look. You don't
Just
look.
don't look. You just go for it.
I think you have to.
A straw? Is that why they sell those metal straws now? So that you can slurp up any pond or puddle you happen to wander past?
I kind of think there are filtration straws,
But there
like for
definitely
that
are.
reason.
There definitely are.
No thanks.
What do they filter out?
I'm good.
So, like
I've got
demon.
my Dasani with me.
Exactly. Do those filtration things? Do they filter out like evil activity?
I don't think so. That's when you go to the witch or warlock.
So wouldn't it matter if you were taking a sip from the
Oh,
filter
that's
thing?
true.
Is what I'm saying.
But I'm saying that people who like that might be an excuse for somebody to be drinking from the pond because they're like, oh, I have my filter thing, but
Wonder
it's
if
not
it's-
going to protect them from the witch or warlock stuff.
Right. I wonder if it's a thing to have like blessed dinnerware. You know what I mean? To like, because like if
Maybe.
you stab someone with a fork
Yeah.
to bring it to your mouth, you could stab it with like holy prongs that make sure the food is cleansed.
Maybe
That might be a thing, right?
it could be. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, it's not the same thing, but I know that like for people who keep kosher kitchens, I know sometimes there's like 2 sinks. I think.
Okay. Yeah.
So I wonder if not blessed, but maybe it's a cousin of that. Like maybe there are like special.
To make sure that it's up to code.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. Okay, so there's another testimonial. So Jonathan A. said, my father was the landscaper for the cemetery for many, many years. I used to work with him and have been to the cemetery hundreds of times. I've seen things and experienced, I think it means things there that can't be explained. Stuff I don't even want to talk about. So not much of anything, but I liked that it was like an insider review.
An
where it's
insider
like-
review where they
Yeah.
basically volunteer being like, I don't want to talk about it.
Right, but it is legit.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the caretaker's son visiting the website for Spidergate Cemetery on like try to scare me dot or try to
Absolutely.
scare dot me or whatever. It's fun.
Yeah.
So Michael J. Colette says, back in the late 80s, a bunch of us went to Spidergates. It was about 9:30 or 10 at night, full moon and oddly dark. Lit a small fire and I looked up at the sky and saw a star twinkling. So I said, starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. I wish I might see the boogeyman tonight.
Whoa!
Well, I was leaning against a stone wall, and suddenly everyone else started freaking out, as well as screaming. They pointed at me, and I turned around. I saw a person on a motorcycle, and he was pointing at me. We all freaked. No noise from the motorcycle, and he didn't say jack. We covered the fire and ran to the car. I felt like I was tripped, and the motorcycle kept driving towards me. I got up as fast as I could and jumped in the car. As soon as we hit pavement, the motorcycle vanished. And so did the specter. I've never forgotten that night, and I'm sure my friends that were with me haven't either. The
But
weirdest
they
part.
don't talk to me anymore.
No, we've
So, they may never know.
we've lost touch.
Yeah.
The weirdest part was that no noise from an engine was heard. What a spooky tale.
Well,
I wish I would. I wish I might see a boogeyman tonight.
I just got to chill.
If that isn't a prayer, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Called up a prayer.
But Chris, I'm a little scared. Maybe we should stop talking about this.
Maybe we should go inside.
That's
Or-
so something that like never happened. It's like incredible. What an incredible tale. So he's hanging out with his friends. Says that full poem.
Yeah.
Everyone just stopped
Looking up
talking
at the
to
starlight.
listen?
Maybe he was like the boss of his friend group until this, and then they were like,
Yeah.
"Oh man, like Michael is like basically Michael has jumped the shark."
I think you gotta demote Michael.
Maybe that's why he's he's sure they haven't forgotten it, but he's not like 100% sure.
I wish I might see the Boogeyman tonight. It was such a surprise ending. I can't believe it. And I expect you just going, here I am.
Nope, a motorcycle man appeared and is pointing at him.
And it all went fine.
They ran away. He fell as though he was tripped. He got in the car, and just as they're driving away, the motorcycle disappeared. That's Spidergate Cemetery for you.
There you go. Modern depictions of monsters when they're on like motorcycles or have like leather jackets or sunglasses or something.
Yeah.
Like a Dracula that's cool and modern.
Yeah.
Always stinks. I don't like the idea of a boogeyman on a hog.
No, me neither. Yeah, why do we have to like badassify
I
these
know.
specters? Like they don't need to have like a black Chevy
Yeah.
or a motorcycle,
It's real weird.
black pickup truck.
Very Stephen King.
Yeah, totally. As I was saying it, I was picturing like Stephen
Call you
King
like a
kind of stuff.
hepcat or ask
Yeah.
if you want a boogie tonight.
Yeah, bang on the jukebox until it works again
It's so funny that those things are in all
before
those
they get you.
in all those scary stories that have terrified people for generations.
It's a classic, like a 50s greaser who's a ghost.
I know he loves it.
I know. He loves it. Guess what? I guess we all do.
I guess.
The last one of the testimonials from the site in the affirmative that I'm going to leave with is I don't even have to say it verbatim. I just found this kind of charming. Somebody named Marlene told a story of driving by Spidergate Cemetery, and somebody threw a wine bottle out the back of another car and hit somebody who they were with in the car on the forehead, and she was bleeding. And they went to the hospital, and she said, quote, honest to God, there was a cut cross bleeding from her forehead. So she was saying that there was a where she got hit was in the shape of a cross. That was creepy or whatever. Here's the thing. Somebody wrote back and said, that girl is my aunt. How crazy. So again, I like the idea of these locals converging. Everybody's checking out the website for
Yeah.
Spidergate Cemetery
Yeah.
and making connections. So I think that Marlene was probably telling a story from a long time ago, and Sammy saw that. And it's a story of her aunt as a younger girl.
We should post.
It's so fun.
We should post in the local Facebook page asking, is there a lot of people who have been in town forever?
Yeah.
Are there any spooky stories, urban legends about the town?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, we should.
Yeah.
For sure.
Fascinating.
Stir up some real trouble.
No, absolutely.
That
Yeah,
Facebook
no.
page is wild. I don't know if everybody's local Facebook pages are wild, but I'm from Highland Park, NJ. It gets pretty spicy.
It's wild.
So here's some counterpoints to the whole idea of all of this, basically.
Right.
So people on trytoscare.me have also left a lot of reviews saying, this is all totally made up. I don't know what you're talking about. This is like a beautiful cemetery, and just none of this is true. And please stop making up stories about this place. That's like, you should be more respectful to it, basically. Somebody commented and said, quote, live nearby my whole life. Nothing is haunted about the cemetery. The moans you'll hear at night are the 50 to 75 cows mooing that live in the pasture about a quarter mile through the woods. Their mooing at night echoes through the woods by the cemetery. So
That's
maybe
cute.
people are circling around the Marmaduke thing, putting their ear to the thing, and they're just hearing the sounds of distant moos, but interpreting them as Marmaduke talking.
Oh, that was Archibald Marmaduke or whatever.
There's also a blog about, or like a blog post about Spidergate Cemetery from newenglandfolklore.blogspot.com, written by Peter, who's the owner of it. And he said that the gates in front that people are calling spider gates are meant to look like suns, and that they don't super look like suns, but they frankly don't really look like spiders either, because it's not like they even have just 8 legs. You know what I mean? Which it didn't even occur to me. Like, it is a center kind of like circle or ball thing with thin things coming off it, so it is reminiscent of a spider, but I was like, yeah, that's true. It's really not like explicitly spiders,
Spidery,
you know?
yeah.
So you can see where somebody would just make this up who's maybe like a kid.
Sure.
Like, it's a spider.
Spidergate.
Yeah, Spidergate. And he also has a really fun anecdote that I'm going to leave with.
Great.
So Peter said that he was talking to a friend about Spidergate Cemetery, and the guy was like, oh, yeah, I've been there. I was taken there for, like, a secret society initiation when I was in college.
Whoa.
So he said, his friend said, he went to a college not far from Spidergate Cemetery. And the seniors at the college had a secret society that I don't know anything else about. But based on the story, it seems like they kind of like were conscious of the fact that this is like a little dorky. He said that like the cops were even aware that they would go do this in the cemetery, and they're just like, just like dorky kids. It's like
Yeah,
not a
yeah.
thing or whatever. But he said the way that it worked was that the seniors in the society would dress in black robes, then silently tap one of the juniors on the shoulder, and that's a signal that they want you to do this initiation into the secret society. And what it would be is that they would go to Spidergate Cemetery in the winter at night, and they would have to find the gravestone of one of the founders of the college and just like find it or whatever, and that the seniors who are already in the secret society would just be silently standing by watching, all in black hooded robes. So Peter said, I wonder if some of the rumors about there being like a whole satanic thing going on
yeah.
was maybe people, and I like this idea. He said not only maybe people saw them in the cemetery, but maybe people saw these people in hooded robes coming from or going to the cemetery,
Yeah, that's
which I like
interesting.
because it's just so commonplace. You have to like drive there.
Yeah, you got to
like,
drive there. You got to walk in.
So people could have just seen something as simple as that. That doesn't necessarily. They don't feel like they're doing something so sinister because they know what the deal is. But you see like a bunch of hooded robed people walking into a cemetery, you could be like, a cult or whatever.
Yeah. That's
So it's
very
just-
interesting.
It's fun thinking about how those kinds of rumors start and
I
evolve.
love that. There's also
Yeah.
a fun bit of like, there's like a mundaneness to it a little bit as well, where it's
Yeah.
just like a bunch of kids like,
Totally.
did you get your robe?
Yeah, exactly. The whole planning of it is very funny to me. Like, do we have enough this year?
Yeah,
like,
it's fascinating.
Have to order another one.
Yeah, and then just being like, shh, no, shut up. We're not supposed to talk. Shh.
Yeah.
Shh.
Yeah,
You have
it's
to
like
walk around and
normal
try to
people.
find the grave. Yeah,
Totally.
that's wonderful.
I know.
Spidergate Cemetery.
Spidergate Cemetery.
Well, if that's the 8th.
More cemetery, less gate. But
True. Well,
yeah.
I've got tons of gates for
Okay,
you.
perfect.
Yours was the 8th gate to hell.
Yep.
I'm going to talk about the first 7.
Excellent.
This is the story of the 7 gates of hell, which are located supposedly in Hellam Township, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, I've done some research into this. This first thing I'm going to read for you is the most flowery piece of information that I think kind of will set a tone.
Yeah.
I will tell you that essentially the bare bones story is that if you travel through the 7 gates in the proper order, you can get to hell.
Yes.
Again,
Finally.
for what benefit, I am unsure,
Yeah.
but this is a fast and easy way to do it.
Yeah.
There's got to be a better way.
There has to be.
So this first thing I'm going to read to you is from the Big Book of Pennsylvania Ghost Stories.
Cool.
I'll have links to that and all other sources and stuff in the show notes.
Excellent.
Here's a quote from this book. Hellam did not start out so innocently about Hellam Township. Originally, the town was named Helltown
Ooh.
when the township was created in 1730. Just outside the edge of the original settlement was a sulfur pit, and people seeing the boiling brimstone immediately thought of hell. The name was changed through a bureaucratic typo when a clerk wrote it down wrong, and the name stuck.
Hellam. That's
Hellam.
amazing. Is it anywhere near Centralia?
I don't know.
Because the idea of like, sulfur pits and like smoke and stuff.
Yeah. We should
Like
talk
reminding
about that on this show.
Yes, you're right. We haven't talked about it before.
We've dealt with Centralia in our dark past.
That's right.
Now, here's the thing. I tried to corroborate this claim.
Okay.
According to like Wikipedia and a lot of other places, Hellam was originally Hallam, Hallam.
Okay.
And even that came from a place called Hallamshire in England.
Okay.
So
So a
this-
little bit less badass and hellfiery, but perhaps more true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this book, the Big Book of Pennsylvania Ghost Stories, really is telling like really intriguing stories that are written to like tantalize and terrify.
Yeah.
Every other source that I've got is far more mundane.
Okay.
And I think some of it, maybe it's embellished, maybe it's for the sake of entertainment, whatever, but I really enjoyed reading the excerpts from this
Yeah.
book, which go on to describe that as you approach the first gate, you have this overwhelming feeling that you should turn back.
You know what? I think there was another cemetery that I told a story about. And I can't remember which one it was.
Stull.
I don't. Was this in Stull? The stairs that you go down?
Oh, I don't know if that was installed.
I think it was a different one than Stull, but I think there was a thing where you go down these stairs that lead to hell, and at like one point you have an overwhelming feeling of wanting to turn back, but if you go past that point, then you feel like there's like a gravitational pull, like pulling you down.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here you have the feeling like maybe I shouldn't do this.
Right.
if you take that leap, you go through the first gate, go through all the subsequent gates, and the feeling of impending danger only grows with each passing gate until, quote, only the foolhardy make it to the 5th gate. What happens beyond that gate is anyone's guess.
Know. Yeah.
Nobody has ever returned after having walked through the 5th gate.
Where do they go? What
Hell.
happens? But what if they're bod?
Good question. Also, there are said to be 7 gates.
Yeah.
Why do they think that?
Yeah, like there's no
Maybe
confirmation.
there are only 5, and the 5th is the last gate.
Right,
if
right.
no one ever comes back from
Yeah,
it.
totally.
But supposedly the story goes, per the big book of Pennsylvania ghost stories, that supposedly if you go through all 7 gates, you're going to find the doorway to hell in the ruins of an old asylum.
Okay.
An old mental asylum off in the woods.
Okay.
So here's a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
Now, almost everything I've got from here on is from the York Daily Record, which is like a
That's
local.
my favorite daily record.
The York.
I love the York.
I think it's like York District of Pennsylvania or something like that. So it's like a very local online paper. I don't know if it's a print paper.
Cool.
But so they've got multiple stories about the 7 gates to hell, and they say this: somewhere on Toad Road.
Ooh, love that.
In Hellam Township, Pennsylvania, there are a series of 7 gates, which, if entered correctly, will lead to hell. There are 2 versions of this story. Version 1. There was once an insane asylum built far out into the woods. It was built so far that one night when it caught fire, the fire trucks couldn't get there in time.
This is very similar to the story of Sweet Hollow Road and Mount Mary Road. Remember in that story, there was the idea of like a mental asylum that was far in the woods and that somebody there set it on fire or whatever.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is like a trope that isn't super common but somewhat common.
Maybe.
You know?
I mean, even this is like, so the place catches on fire. Help can't come.
Right.
Some of the patients from the insane asylum get out. And
Yeah, it's like
start
the
roaming
same
around.
story. That's we covered that in an episode. I'm not sure when it was, but you can look for Mount Mary and Sweet Hollow Road, I think is what the like title is.
And even that harkens to like, that's very reminiscent of Halloween.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
Yeah, the patients are out.
Yeah, Donald Pleasant's driving around in the dark and the rain, and they just see the white,
Yep.
like hospital gowns that the
Yeah.
patients wear and stuff. I feel like this might just be sort of like a classical
Yeah,
story that, frankly, probably demonizes the mentally ill.
totally it does.
But
yeah.
it's like classic horror
Yeah.
imagery to be like, you know, even Frankenstein, he had an abnormal brain.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's so scary, the idea of this insane asylum and the
Yeah,
patients
totally.
getting loose.
But it's funny to hear of 2 that are set in the woods that
Yeah.
both caught fire.
Yeah. So the patients get out, but they find themselves trapped within the 7 gates that surround the property.
Oh.
Legend has it, they still haunt these gates to this very day, Kristen.
Boy.
Second story. There was a local doctor who built Gate 1 at the entrance to his property. Supposedly, he built more beyond that one, and something mysterious lies waiting for you at the end of the path. The entrance to hell!
God.
But I do like the idea that implies there's some sort of like an adventure to be had almost.
Right.
It's very interesting.
Right. It's Ready Player One.
Yeah. And then here is here's okay. Here's from another story. This sort of embellishes the story, and then I'm going to get into some of the truth.
Okay.
So, again from the York Daily Record, different story. The legend persists, there's a quote, because years ago, a gate near, not Toad Road, there is no Toad Road,
Oh, okay.
near Trout Run Road,
Okay.
was dubbed the first gate in the 7 gates of hell. The remaining 6 gates, which you can't see, are said to be invisible. So
Well, that's tough.
that complicates matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quite a bit.
Good luck finding them.
I know. Good luck finding the first. It's been
Yeah.
torn down.
Yeah.
It's not there
Well, maybe
anymore.
it's good that all these kind of safeguards are in place, so none
Maybe.
of us are stumbling into hell.
Yeah,
Because I guess
so.
you could conceivably just be hitting all these things by accident, and then you're face to face with old Scratch.
Old Scratch himself.
Yeah.
Hello.
It's me.
Oh, hello. Well, here's some of the truth. Gary Dudery, a former York County newspaperman.
Ah.
Love that as a
Yeah,
title.
me too. Jealous.
Who grew up in town in the 1960s, puts this forth. There were, at one time, 2 weathered stone abstract gargoyle-type objects that resembled toads or frogs, located at the head of a trail. These creatures inspired the locals to give the place the name Toad Road. The gargoyles, or whatever they were, vanished in the early 1970s, I think. Dudery says he actually saw the grotesques,
Oh, okay.
which could have been seen as toads, and that fit along the road.
Okay, so it wasn't officially called Toad Road, but it sounds like it was a local nickname, which
Local
is kind
nickname.
of close to as good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just call it like, oh, you've been along Toad Road. Have you tried to find the gates?
Yeah, exactly.
To hell, I mean.
Yeah, if you're asking around, saying Toad Road is going to get the job done.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in
Trout
Reading,
Run
how there
Road.
was Old Man's Elbow. I don't think that was actually called that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. If it's colloquially known that
Yeah.
as that, then
You're
that's
gonna-
one of the names.
It works
has.
just as well.
Exactly. Everything was made up at some point.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Now here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of weird,
Okay.
and it gets a little dark.
Okay.
I'm gonna warn you.
Mm-hmm.
There was a movie made about old Toad Road.
Mm.
Name of that movie?
Toad
Road.
This- I was going to joke about that, but it was real.
That's exactly what the name is. The 7 gates are a metaphor, according to director Joseph Banker, for drug abuse and the
boy.
descent from consciousness expansion to self-medication to self-destruction, each gate leading to more dangerous and destructive substances. And as the characters travel through the gates, they get closer to entering Beelzebub's zip code, is what the article says.
Oh, wow.
Which is great.
I guess you can only find so many ways to say, like, hell, the devil's lair,
Right.
the netherworld,
Beelzebub's
things like
zip
this.
code.
Beelzebub's zip code.
Yeah, old Scratch's pantry.
Yeah.
I don't know. Satanico's abuela's house. Whatever.
You start to run low.
So here's some of the backstory of the movie.
Okay.
So this guy, Jason Banker, grew up in the area. He was aware of the legends, but he was also aware that like this is an urban legend about the gates to hell, but it doesn't really. There's not really a story there.
Mm-hmm.
You can say, yeah, there are these 7 gates. If you go through them in the right order, you get to hell. But it's not like there's like an emotional
Yeah.
pull or a reason or a story of someone who did it, or aside from being like, you get to gate 5,
Yeah.
you're toast, Jocko.
Right.
But so he wanted to make a movie about the urban legend. He also wanted to make a movie about sort of like youth culture getting into like substance abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And so the way that I read it is that he would very sort of candidly film parties, almost like documentary style, of like college kids doing drugs and drinking and stuff like that, and then realize like, well, what is this footage?
Mm-hmm.
This
Yeah.
doesn't say anything about people. So he started trying to craft a movie into it, started working the Toad Road stuff into it,
Huh.
and then he eventually had 2 characters that go to Toad Road.
Yeah.
Their whole thing is they want to experience the sort of like descent.
I mean, it's a cool idea.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah.
Here's something very, 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 very strange. The film's promotional blurb. Now, I think this movie came out in 2013, FYI. Here's the promotional blurb. Quote, a portrait of contemporary youth culture where the lines between reality and fiction are blurred with often frightening results.
Okay.
Now, I think that was originally in reference to the fact that he was like filming actual parties and stuff.
Yeah.
And then blending that with a horror movie,
Right.
essentially. But also he was trying to say something real about the human
Yeah.
condition
Mm-hmm.
through like a metaphor about a scary story.
Which works also, I mean, because, you know, if you think about like possession stories and things like that, people acting out because something dark
Yes.
is overtaking them, like it makes sense.
Yes. And so the 2 main characters experiment a lot with drugs and drinking on Toad Road.
Mm-hmm.
The movie premieres. Mere weeks later, the lead actress dies of a drug overdose.
Oh, God.
And so the entire movie now is this very sort of like
Mm-hmm.
odd. It is bits of real life.
Yeah, right. It's kind of a
enmeshed
weird
with
artifact.
The fiction.
Well, like, so were the characters who were playing, or were the people who were playing the main characters part of those party scenes where he was like filming people just like drinking and drugging or whatever? Like, how? Or
I don't want to say
don't
exactly
totally
one
get
way or
it,
the other.
yeah.
I've not seen the movie,
Yeah.
and I'm not 100% sure, but I did see written in some of these articles from the York Daily Record
Mhm.
that like he got locals from the area. These people were
Right.
not like, you know, professional performers or anything
So
like
for
that.
even the main characters, that was the case?
Yes.
Okay, so it was a local person who may have
Yes.
been... Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so like it really sort of like it almost is its own odd sort of like legend
Yeah, totally.
to spring out of like Toad Road.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Weird. That's crazy.
It's very it's bonkers. It's sad.
No, that is sad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to present that as anything that's like to be gawked at. It's
No,
just sort
no.
of like a fascinating.
No, it's interesting that it was about
revelation.
kind of being consumed, but just in a, a metaphorical way, but also
Yes.
kind of actual.
It's art
And then that-
imitating life,
Yeah.
which then imitates art.
Right.
And then the last thing that I have for you here is from Atlas Obscura, where they talk about the 7 gates of hell. Atlas Obscura is a website that's all about sort of like pointing out places that you can really visit that are either weird or interesting or whatever.
Yeah.
So they describe essentially the same story that I've told you. Every place, by the way, outside of that big book of Pennsylvania ghost stories, they all tell the story the same way with almost the exact same language all the time.
So when that happens, I always wonder what the first source is
I
and
know.
whether that's legit or
Yes,
not. Depends.
exactly.
Yeah, that happened with the man from Torrid.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
There was
where's
only-
everyone getting this from?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So the Atlas Obscura article is a recap of everything else except for this little teeny tiny thing at the very end written by somebody who lives in the area.
Oh.
And they have this to say. This is their real experience with Toad Road and the 7 gates of hell. I live 5 minutes from here. Because of people trespassing on the property, the owners have taken down the gates. There are no gates at all. I have
Well,
been
not visible.
True, they're invisible. They're invisible. Remember, you have to wander around
That's
the
right.
woods for who knows how long until you find all 7
That's right. Maybe
gates.
they've compensated with additional invisible gates.
Yes, you'll know you've done it right when you end up in hell.
When you can't see anything. Eternal blackness.
You'll know you've done it when you can never come
Yeah.
back. Just keep trying. Don't do that.
No.
I have been ghost hunting for many years. I have noticed that when you drive past the cornfield close to where the gates once were, and you roll down your windows, stop on the side of the road. Be patient. And even though it is a hot day, they're assuming what time of year you're going. Even though when you do this, it's a hot day.
Are they telling you not to drink from the pond and bring this all full circle?
Don't drink from the pond.
Even if it's a hot day.
Take it from me.
Yeah.
I was a thirsty boy.
Otherwise, you're going to need to get a witch or a warlock.
Boy, did I regret that.
Yeah.
Mwah.
All right.
When you go to the beach, don't put a bunch of sand in your mouth.
Yeah.
What do we have to be warned about?
Take this one from me.
Be patient, and even though it is a hot day and no wind is blowing, you will feel a cool wind blowing right through your car.
Ooh.
Now that greatly reduces it from you will find your way into hell
Yes.
to there will be a soft breeze.
Right.
But that's also the
So
kind
cool.
of thing that like is constantly, I feel like every small town
Yes.
somewhere tucked away has some weird legend about a road where like
Yeah.
the car will roll or the wind will blow or
Yeah.
you'll hear this thing happen. Like there are all these like subtle on the edge of your perception kind of things. And so
Totally.
I don't know, this I thought was almost more funny because it doesn't build off of the previous legends at all.
No.
But it's almost just like, well, the gates are gone.
Yeah.
But we're so
But guess
dedicated.
what? There's this.
We're so dedicated to making sure that Toad Road is spooky. Here's a new thing.
Yeah.
Right? It has to be spooky. There
Yeah,
has to be
totally.
something in those woods.
Right, absolutely. Or maybe there just is something so spooky about it, like visually or something that it lends well
Maybe.
to different kinds of legends like this.
Maybe. It's like a rebirth.
Or
There's
it's
like-
real.
It's like a reincarnation of a scary story.
Yes.
The old one doesn't hold up under scrutiny anymore.
Yeah. So let's birth a new one.
Exactly.
A
yeah.
wind is going to blow through your car.
Exactly. It's very, very interesting
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, I know. I love the evolution of how those things happen.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's awesome.
But there you go. The 7 gates of hell in Hellam, Pennsylvania, because of all that stinky sulfur.
That's right.
Remember when people would settle on a town and then they would smell something stinking and be like, yeah, we should stay.
Yeah.
We'll just name it after the stink.
Right. We'll just honor the stink, emphasize it,
Right?
really kind of underline it by
Yeah.
naming the town after it.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you think
Those
when we
were the
were
days.
do you think when we were like marching across the this continent trying to get to the West Coast, Manifest Destiny, they called it, Kristen. Do you think that every time that somebody stopped somewhere and was like, "This will be Chicago," they were really being like, "I don't want to keep going.
Yeah, maybe.
You
There's
guys
like, I'm
keep
gonna-
trying to get to the Pacific."
This one's actually perfect for me. This one right here.
You
I'm
know
actually
what?
going to stay right here.
Yeah, I'm gonna found, I don't know,
Yeah.
Punxsutawney.
Yeah.
Or something.
I think this place is my kind of place.
This
Yeah.
is it. You know,
That would be me. I definitely would have chosen somewhere 5 minutes after I'm trekking across.
1,000%.
Like, this is good.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm good here.
We all leave from like Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And I get like, I don't know, a mile down the road.
Right.
I'm like,
Exactly.
you know what?
Where we live is probably right about as far as I would go.
I'm going to call this West Philadelphia.
Yeah.
This is my manifest destiny.
Absolutely. Look, Will Smith did. It worked for him, didn't
Exactly. Someday this will be the
Born and
birthplace of
raised.
royalty.
it? In West Philadelphia, born and raised.
I
He
shall build a
staked his
playground.
claim on that playground. Damn it, you went faster than me. Well, thank you for joining us for this episode of Guide to the Unknown and journeying to hell with us.
I call it B-ball, and it will be a game of royalty.
That's right. A fresher sort of royalty.
Not those stodgy old monarchs across the
No.
pond.
Absolutely.
Something fresher.
Yeah, he's not naming anything after smells. It's
No.
nice and fresh where he is.
That's exactly right.
What a way to live.
Yeah. Yo home. Smell you later.
Yeah. Not interested.
Exactly.
I'm going to be the Fresh Prince.
Mm-hmm.
You name your town after stinks all you want. I'm happy here in West Philadelphia at my playground and my b-ball court.
welcome to Stinksburg. Well, there you have it.
There you have it. So until next time, you can follow at GTTUpod on all social media. You can go to patreon.com/GTTUpod if you would like to donate to the show, kind of a tip thanking us for putting these out every week. You can join our secret Facebook group by going to facebook.com/groups/GTTUpod and hang out with a bunch of really awesome people sharing stuff all the time. And you can follow Will and I personally online. I'm at Kristen on Twitter and Instagram.
I am at the Myth Traveler.
That's right.
Okay. I thought there was more. I was
No.
wrong. I was wrong. Well, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We will be back soon.
Mm-hmm.
As you listen to this, the day that this episode drops, definitely check in with at GTTUpod
Yep.
and our online stuff. Kristen and I might be streaming
Yes.
the new Blair Witch game.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, if you're not listening to this, the day it drops.
Well, they could see the video on YouTube or something, like after the fact,
Exactly.
probably,
Don't
right?
worry about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see you guys next week when we're back to tell you more scary stories that we have accrued. But until that time comes, we must travel.
Back to the netherworld. Go we. Bye.
Bye-bye, my babies.
Bye-bye.
Keep cool, my babies. Who says that?
Conan.
Somebody else says it.
I've only got Conan.
Phoebe from Friends.
Keep cool, my babies?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She does. I think it's when she has a cold and she likes the way her voice sounds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't blame her. It sounds great. They're exes. Maybe that she picked it up from Conan or vice versa.
Maybe. If Will and Kristen see this after and are confused, cemetery pond water equals corpse soup?
Ugh.
What?
That doesn't seem good.
Is that an inside
The
joke
soup-
from the chat, or is
The
that a
soup
thing?
to stay away from? That sounds right to me.
The soup is on fire. What's up with that?
Yeah.
They need to read about corpse soup. Yeah, can somebody copy and paste? I'm afraid I won't be able to find it if I scroll up.
Yikes.
Yeah.
The soup to stay away from is very funny, Mel.
Wait, what is it?
The last one. The soup to stay away from.
The soup to stay away from.
Yeah. That's really funny.
All others you may approach.
Let me see. Somebody maybe go up. Somebody said maybe on book club. Somebody was asking if we talked about something, and maybe I will know. Let's
Maybe on
see.
Book club.
I remember.
Hellfire.
Oh, Centralia. Yeah, when did we talk? We didn't do that as a subject or anything like that. We've talked about Centralia though.
Yeah, I don't know. On book
I'm
club,
not sure.
on our previous podcast, Book Club, Schmook Club, we
Mm-hmm.
used to find almost any excuse we could to talk about scary stuff, which is
Yeah.
part of the reason why we do this show.
Yes. Yeah.
So there's a decent chance that we may have just sort of like been shooting the shrimp.
I think so. I don't think we ever did here's the deal with Centralia, but I know that we've talked about it on mic before.
And for sure we
so you're not
did-
missing that much by not knowing where it is. We'll definitely do it as a subject for Guides to the Unknown.
For sure we did a Halloween episode where I sort of like crafted a game for you and Bobby
Yeah.
to play that was centered in Centralia, Pennsylvania. We go visiting there to do an expose.
Yeah.
I fall into a crack in the ground.
Right.
And then it was very like choose your own adventure where you and Bob are trying to find me.
Yeah, yeah.
That was very fun.
It was really funny.
Yeah. So that's what I think
Cool.
of when I think of Centralia, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Though I do think of it not infrequently.
I actually don't know that much about it, so I would like to learn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this okay. All right. So I don't know if during the recording you saw me. There were a few minutes where I couldn't stop looking at the chat because I saw people. I didn't see the thing that said what Taylor said, which is a very funny and fun prompt that you guys did. What would GTTU Secret Society College initiation be? I wonder. I just saw like make them watch all Scream movies backwards, find Bigfoot, hunt a killer, envy faces boxes, and I was like, what the fuck is going on in the chat? And I like couldn't look away from it.
I can quote Scream backwards and forwards.
We actually have an idea for something movie-centric about testing how well we know certain movies that we're obsessed with, like Scream.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Life's river shall rise,
God.
she said.
Yeah.
Basically, it started with drinking pond water from a cemetery. Never want the corpse soup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Honestly, if it's rainy
Yeah.
in a cemetery,
I mean, at the very least, it's fish corpse, if nothing else. So I'm with you. No thanks to
it is fish corpse.
cemetery soup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you just go swim in the lake, Buttnick?
Because fish fart in it. It's from Salute Your Shorts. Well, speaking of soup, I gotta go get something in the old Tum Tum.
All right. Thank you all so much for
Thanks,
hanging
guys,
out.
for hanging
Again,
out,
sorry
yeah.
that we ended up being late. In the future, I'm going to check for updates day of way like earlier. I got a notification, and usually the computer acts weird if I don't install them right away.
Yeah.
But I had no idea it was going to take an hour.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll try to check that stuff earlier. But
Yeah.
yeah, thank you all so much for hanging
Yeah.
out.
I'm glad that you guys came anyway.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yay.
So yeah, we'll see you all on Friday.
Yeah, come hang out while probably Will plays the Blair Witch game, and I just kind of like, hey.
I want to look out for like lore. I want to
Yeah.
see if it
Oh,
stays
totally.
true to what came before and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I hear it's not that long either.
yeah. You said like 4 hours.
Yeah, we don't have to do it in one sitting or
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. But,
Okay.
but yeah, it's not going to be like some
Yeah.
gargantuan undertaking.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'll be fun.
yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. All right, everybody.
Cool.
Have a good night.
All right, guys.
We'll
have a
talk to you
good night.
soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.